Welcome to this week's episode of Humans in 5.
We spend a lot of time personally and professionally perusing journals and articles. We've both got a thirst for knowledge, and often peer-reviewed papers are the best original source of information to help us learn more about how things work in the real world.
Journal articles in the sciences and social sciences are a great way to learn more about different trends and patterns in the world around us. But as we've mentioned before, they are sometimes a little dense and hard to read. Often papers get bogged down in jargon, which can sometimes make it a bit hard to follow research when you're not necessarily an expert in the field.
For example, we see ourselves as biological anthropologists, but in our line of work, we often need to read papers from fields like anatomy, history, and ecology. As we teach our students, we often assign them journal articles to help teach them core course concepts. We also love to encourage our friends and family outside of academia to jump on that paper reading bandwagon when trying to learn something new.
So, as we're all trying to learn new information from these journal articles, we often wonder, what's the best way to summarize all the details of an article to really understand the study? Today, we'd like to dig into just that with a blog post by anthropological geneticist Jennifer Raff.
Raff notes that the best way to learn more about a topic is to get right into that original source material. First things first, not all articles are structured in the same way, but most tend to have an abstract summarizing the paper overall. This is followed by an introduction to the topic with details on the methods used and then the results obtained. Finally, papers often end with a discussion of the results overall and a conclusion tying the whole thing together.
We're often tempted to start with the abstract. It's short and it's a speedy read that should be communicating the overall gist of a paper. But Raff notes that in most cases, the introduction is actually the best place to start. It can help us get a solid footing in the overall field and big picture questions at hand, without running the risk of biasing our opinions by seeing some of the results before really understanding why a certain study has taken place.
Raff suggests making sure that we really understand the goals and purpose of a study by summarizing the background for ourselves and identifying the major questions at hand. Once we're confident we understand the context and the why behind a study, we can start to learn more about their approach. We can dig into how they're going to address the question and then learn more specific details about how they'll investigate their topic by really getting into that methods section.
Next, once you're sure that you've got a grasp of the methods and the tools at hand, start to understand the results as much as possible. Take the outcomes of the experiments, graphs, and tables one at a time. It's worth going through these things in details and considering whether the results address the question at hand.
Once you've thought through the results yourselves, then you should go on to read the author's interpretations and compare and contrast your thoughts to theirs. Raff notes that you don't have to agree with their interpretations, and that's a healthy part of the scientific process.
Finally, once you've made it through the paper in a neutral manner, go back and take a look at the abstract. See how the authors summarize and tie their work together, and see how well they reflect the big picture themselves. Then go out and do some digging to see what other researchers and other parties think.
We hope this helps you work through papers and helps to hone those critical reading skills. We'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!